Welcome everyone. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the most important news items that happened in the Solana ecosystem last week. And the first piece of news comes from Frankium. So they've partnered up with Ray to do an incentives program. So if you deposit Ray into Frankium's lending pool, you can receive some high APYs. And this started on the 23rd of November and it ends on the 3rd of December. So if you wanted to get some high yields on any Ray that you owned, definitely head over to Frankium and then deposit your Ray there. I think the APYs that you can get right now are definitely above 50%. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely head over to Frankium. The next piece of news comes from Soda. So I've spoken recently about Soda going live on Mainnet, and now they've released this Medium article talking about liquidity provider rewards. So they've got this event going on from November 25th to December 24th. So if you wanted to take part in this, that's your time period of which you can. So the rules. So Soda will take snapshots of everyone's liquidity score, calculated by liquidity with weight, in the lending pool at certain intervals during the campaign period. And the rank is determined by the average liquidity score of all snapshots. So the people who put in the most liquidity will be given ranks. So if you've put in the most liquidity into Soda, you are the king. If you are the 2nd to 20th, Rook, 21st to 50th, Bishop, 51st to 100th, Knight. So the top 100 suppliers will get a special NFT according to their ranks, and the NFT holder can share the reward pool proportionally. So the reward for the king is 7% of the unlocked reward pool. The reward for a rook is 2%, and a bishop is 1%, and lastly for a knight it's 0.5%. So the reward pool is 2 million Soda tokens. So theoretically a king could receive 140,000 Soda tokens if they supply the most liquidity. And also they've got liquidity requirements here. So if only 30 million USDC is deposited into Soda, then only 6% of the rewards are unlocked. However, at 220 million USDC, 100% of the rewards are unlocked, and I could imagine that being hit most likely. We've had other protocols before, like Apricot Finance, for example. It went live, and then within a couple of hours, it amassed like $200 million in TVL. So this could definitely happen for Soda. So if you're interested in this and you think that you're a whale and you could possibly get into the top 100, you could get paid quite a bit of money for supplying liquidity into Soda. So I don't know the current price of the Soda tokens or what the valuation will be, but 140,000 Soda tokens is quite a lot. So the next piece of news comes from Pole Aggregator. They've recently gone live on Mainnet. So Pole Aggregator is a leveraged yield farming aggregator. I know what you're saying. Oh, not another one. We already have Tulip, Frankium, Sunny, other stuff like that. But this is new. So with Pole Aggregator, they're offering a port USDC leveraged farming pool. So what happens is that you deposit USDC, and then Pole will automatically help you to repeated lend and borrow using Port Finance. So I've spoken about this strategy before that you can employ yourself. So you go to Port Finance, deposit USDC, and then borrow as much as you can and redeposit it. So I've called it recursive lending and borrowing before, and you can boost the yields that you're meant to get by up to like 5x leverage, I think, on Port Finance. So they do this automatically for you, and it takes out a lot of the hassle of doing the repeated lending and borrowing. Winding up that position and then unwinding the position can like take a few minutes, and it can be quite confusing for anyone who's not done it before. So Pole Aggregators, does a good service here. So if you are interested in stablecoin yield farming, you can go ahead and use this. This is not financial advice. Obviously, do your own research. I don't know if this is a scam or not, so just be aware of that. So the next piece of news comes from Invictus DAO. So they recently burnt $66.8 million worth of their token, and that's lowered the circulating supply of IN. So that's awesome. And more news from Invictus DAO. So they've recently introduced a new bond offering, and this is an important step for Invictus DAO to become a decentralized reserve currency of Solana, because of the fact that currently right now they're only backed by their own liquidity, USDC and USDT, and now that they have MSOL, it will help them come off the stablecoin peg. The next piece of news comes from Saber. So they've launched their very first triple yield farming reward. So if you LP in the UST cash pool, you can receive Saber tokens, Luna, and cow rewards. Next piece of news comes from Solrise Finance. So phase 3 of their Dawn 2 competition is now live. So if you're interested in trading and you think you're a good trader, go ahead, deposit some money into Solrise Finance, start competing, and if you do really well, you can earn a lot of rewards as well as recognition within the community. So you can make your own fund or even invest in others. If you think that you can identify a good trader, go ahead and use Solrise Finance. The next piece of news comes from Bonfida. So they have launched Jabber, which is an on-chain messaging application built on Solana. So you can download this on iOS or Android, and you can start messaging people, and it's a great step towards a decentralized social media. Next piece of news comes from Cyclos. So this is just a project update. So they're just giving a status on the mainnet and what's coming soon. So they've said here that the V1 product was originally built to be 100% integrated with Serum liquidity. However, since running their V1 mainnet with their test community, they were met with a number of functional limitations that stemmed from dependence on Serum. So now they've decided to become a fully independent platform, so not reliant on any external platforms like Serum itself. So what's ended up happening is that they're going to have to build their own liquidity pools, and the mainnet version of the concentrated liquidity market maker is going to be live by the end of 2021. So if you're not familiar with Cyclos Finance, they're a Uniswap v3 style concentrated liquidity DEX. So from a liquidity provider standpoint, it's different to, like, say, Radium or Orca. For an LP, you'd have to go in, choose whatever pair you want to provide liquidity for, and then choose a range of which you want to provide liquidity for. So this is quite popular on Ethereum, like Uniswap v3 has done really well. So they've also announced that they will be introducing single asset staking. So they aim to have this live by the end of November. So the longer you lock your CYS, the bigger reward you have at the end. So if you're bullish on Cyclos Finance and CYS, then this might be something that you are interested in. So the next piece of news comes from Penguin Finance. So they have introduced themselves into the ecosystem. So they promise to be a liquidity management protocol for Solana. So I'll read this out to you and you can tell me what it sounds like. So they aim to do treasury management for Solana projects. So Penguin is a one-stop treasury management service that offers liquidity, bonding, and vesting. Instead of renting liquidity, a protocol can use the bonding service to purchase its own liquidity. Protocol-owned liquidity stays with the protocol through a downturn and can help it survive over the long term. Token vesting will also allow protocols to align its incentives and community with its long-term roadmap, rather than encouraging short-term engagement. So a lot of the problem right now is that a lot of protocols will give away their own token, they will incentivize liquidity, and all that happens is that mercenaries come in, farm, and dump that token. And that's the reason why you'll see a lot of DeFi tokens over time just trend downwards or just go sideways, because there are people who are constantly just entering the liquidity pools and then market selling all of their rewards. And it's the reason why you've seen most of Ethereum DeFi go sideways for the last 9 months. So Penguin Finance will also have a DEX to provide trading liquidity. Around the Penguin DEX, bonding investing will help protocols to build a healthy treasury that controls its own liquidity. So what this sounds like is they're looking to bring Olympus Pro to Solana, and Olympus Pro has been wildly successful for Olympus DAO. They've gotten a lot of partnerships through doing that, and they've earned a lot of revenue from doing so. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Penguin Finance will take off. It's a really good idea, but I could also see Invictus DAO looking to do a similar service. So the next piece of news comes from Chest Finance. So if you want to receive yield on your SOL, you can deposit it into Chest Finance, and you're currently receiving 10% APY roughly. So what they do, Chest Finance will take your SOL and then go to an options protocol and sell covered calls. And the premium that they receive from selling covered calls, they distribute to everyone who deposited SOL into Chest Finance. And I'm fairly certain that Chest Finance is looking to reward early users, so this might be something that you want to try out in hopes of an airdrop. We also have Apricot Finance, who have announced that APT staking has arrived, so you can stake your Apricot Finance tokens in the protocol, and I think you're receiving around 20% APY for doing so. So the next piece of news comes from OneSol. So OneSol has recently had their mainnet launch, and they put out this Medium article. So they're introducing trade to earn. So to celebrate this successful launch of OneSol mainnet, we have set up 2 trade to earn prize pools to reward the users who have always supported OneSol. So pool 1, top 3 traders based on their trading volume will receive a token blind box, and they will be rewarded with USDC, Bitcoin, Sol, or other tokens. And there's no limitations to how many tokens one blind box contains. It's totally depending on your trading volume. And then pool 2 is a retrospective airdrop. Every trader on OneSol mainnet will receive rewards on every single trading day. So how it works is that the amount of trading volume you do on OneSol will mean that you're eligible to share 0.8% of the total supply of the OneSol token. So this will go on from November 28th to December 6th. So if that's something you're interested in, it looks like you might be getting an airdrop from actually trading on OneSol. If you're not familiar with OneSol, it's a DEX aggregator similar to Jupiter or Lifinity. So you can go ahead, do your swaps there, and it will try and give you the best price. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.